Today I'm reviewing Dispatch. And is Dispatch an indie game? Barely. I feel like what's common for an indie studio is they're making a game and they ask themselves, "Hey, I want a voice actor for this game. Who should I get?" If the person who comes to your mind is Aaron Paul, I don't feel like you're quite an independent studio. Not to mention, they almost have the entire staff of Critical Role doing the voiceover. I feel like Hartxp, the studio that made this game, has maybe 1 foot in the indie space. I made this channel to highlight indie video games. I wanted to help indie game devs who didn't have any marketing budget to be discovered. And to be completely honest, I hope this Dispatch review brings some more foot traffic to my channel and brings more attention to some very small independent studios. So with that, here we go. Here's my review of Dispatch.
Figured my story would always end in that suit.
It's time for you to accept that you don't got it anymore. We need you behind that desk to help actual heroes.
Looks like the Red Ring was behind this.
No problemo.
Can I get ice down here?
Got it. I need you guys to focus.
So I enjoyed this game. This game was right up my alley. The gameplay is a choose-your-own-adventure TV show combined with a resource management strategy game. So right there, let me push some people away from this game that I don't think are going to enjoy it. There is a lot of time you spend watching cutscenes. So if you're someone who loves high-octane action, they can't sit still, they're not trying to watch a TV show, this game is probably not for you. There's a lot of time where you've made your decision, you've given an input, and then you're just watching the outcome of it. But don't get me wrong, these cutscenes are incredible. I said earlier, this is like watching a choose-your-own-adventure TV show, and it is to the caliber of a TV show. I heard some people online comparing this to an Invincible style TV show. I don't know if it's quite to the caliber of Invincible, but I really enjoyed this. I loved watching the cutscenes. For me, it was super entertaining, a lot of great humor. I laughed out loud during several scenes. I was really invested in the story. It was really important for me that some characters got the outcome that I thought they deserved. Also, I do want to throw in here, I'm only going to throw in early gameplay footage here. This game is one giant spoiler, so I'm just going to make sure that I only show stuff from very early on in the game, and even from early on in the game, I'm going to exclude some stuff. So I'm going to review this game in 2 chunks. I'm going to review the Choose Your Own Adventure cutscene portion of the game, and then I'm going to review the strategy dispatch side of the game. For me, the choose your own adventure side of the game was almost perfect. The animation quality is incredible. The action sequences are as good as things I've seen in movies. I'm sure you won't be surprised to hear when I mentioned Aaron Paul earlier, but the performances in this game are really amazing. There are a lot of great superhero and supervillain speeches in the game, and they're delivered to perfection. The character designs and personality are really profound and fleshed out. Each character feels like their own unique individual, and that really helps it to inform you what kind of decisions you want to make based on the character that you're interacting with. Now, I haven't experienced all the different outcomes that can happen to you, but one critique I have of this game is you're a little on rails as far as what you can do. You pretty much will always end up in the same circumstance, just with a slightly different variation of how you got there. That being said, I think the game does a fantastic job of making sure that it provides you with options that you're actually wanting to do. I rarely found myself in a circumstance where I was like, ooh, I wish I could do this instead. I always felt like I had an option that was aligning with what I wanted to do in the situation. The writing is really great. As I mentioned, I love the humor in this game. Nothing feels corny or cliche. All the humor comes from really good situational humor that happens because of the circumstances that you're in. Just a real quick thought. When Gen Alpha is 67 years old, are they going to go, hey guys, ask me how old I am. Ask me. Anyway, on to the strategy portion of the game. It was fine to give a little explanation of how the game worked. Different crises would pop up on the map, and then you would have to choose the hero with the given abilities that best aligned with the crisis. If that part of the game was a standalone game, I highly doubt I would have played it. It was very complementary to the choose your own adventure part of the game. It made a lot of sense. I think it was a super smart way to add variety to you just selecting the option that you wanted to choose, and actually gave you consequences to you passing and failing failing missions, but it just wasn't my kind of strategy game. You can send the right heroes on the mission and then still end up failing it because of some dice roll percentage chance. It was very D&D inspired, which makes sense because Critical Role was heavily involved in this game. And if you were playing this on a PC, this feels very meta, basically being a dispatch agent working on a computer. It felt like you were actually behind the helm, controlling these heroes. But the dispatch portion just felt like it was meant to add variety to the game rather than really enhancing the game. It's just that the choose your own adventure portion of the game was such a grand slam. I just wish that the strategy portion of the game matched that quality. I just couldn't help thinking that if I were playing Slay the Spire as my hero dispatch minigame, instead of the one they provided, this might have been one of my favorite games of all time. All that being said, I still really enjoyed this game. I was excited every time a new episode came out, and I definitely will be buying the sequel when it gets released. This was a really tough decision for me, and I'm still debating it, but I'm going to put Dispatch at my number 3 spot for the year.